happening. So what is it that she is not doing while she has even turned to God, but still she's not getting a partner? There could be a reason. There should be a reason. And Himba, I've seen beautiful women. Some of them, I've seen them in banks. They are bank managers. They are directors. They are accountants, beautiful as they are. I've seen women in various professions who are beautiful. They can even turn the sun into darkness because of their beauty. But still, they do not attract anybody. And sometimes they've changed the men, the tall one to the short one, the fattest to the thin one, but all in vain. They don't get married. And they wonder as to why it is so. This evening, I would like to bring out a few points, Himba, so that we can share. In other words, I'm going to give a counsel. This is pure counseling. I've picked a few points. I have a lot of them, but because of time, I've picked a few that will be sufficient for the time that we're going to be together. And I want to start right away. Number one, we must, and okay.
Before you come in, I know you always have a lot of information, and we are so privileged, as you've mentioned, that it's all about, we want to talk to somebody, can be a man, Eddie, asking this question: why am I not married? What is happening to me right now? So I would, you've only said, Evangelist Shavla, you've said you've seen women who are beautiful, who can turn even the sun to go off. That's what you've said. What about what about men? There are men who are also beautiful, gentlemen, with a collar, with a job, with a key, but they are not married. I want you to buzz up. As much as we see these women who are so beautiful, I also want you to talk about this gentleman. Go, you gentleman. So talk about him. He's a gentleman. He's not married. He's got a good job. He's educated. He's good. Look, have a job. Please, Evangelist.
Yes. What it is, Himba, most of the things that I'm going to talk about the lady also applies to the men. What I'll talk about men also affects the ladies. So it is actually both that I'll talk to. But some of these subjects here, they heavily lean on the ladies than men. I don't know why it is so. Don't ask me. Nature, which is poor nature or bad nature, also favors men. And the counsel, in most cases, goes to men, to women. But in this case, I'll try by all means to balance, so that the men that are also affected, they're assisted, and so that we also look at these men who have got posh cars, they've got beautiful homes, they've got lucrative businesses, they've got stable jobs, they are handsome, and they've got what it takes to be a man. They speak good English, they've traveled extensively, and they have engaged themselves with the different women, and so in the end, they are still walking the streets alone. They are always meeting at the joint with those ladies, and they are always having free weekends with all the freedom that they have. And yet they cannot find somebody to actually live with as husband and wife. So this evening, we'll be looking at the root causes, apart from the prayers and the fasting that they put in. So what else are they supposed to do? Is there medicine? Have they been bewitched? Is there juju involved? Or is it an old man or old woman in the village who has, cast a spell on them that they cannot get married? The answer is no. As we go through these pieces that are put together, we should be able to find out what the real cause is. And then, if you are affected, you are not married, and I've mentioned what affects you, I would like you to tick it and say, I need to work on this one. It would be better working on it than ignoring it. The other point that I want to bring out, Himba, is that this is not an entertainment. I'm not sitting here to entertain anybody. I'm sitting here to serve somebody. I'm sitting here to help somebody. I'm sitting here to tell you what your father and mother will never tell you. I'm sitting here to tell you what probably no other counselor will put it the way I'm going to put it. So I'm going to speak tonight as if it is a father trying to give the last words to his children. And so the children must pay attention. So I want to urge you, my daughters, my grandchildren, my friends, and everyone else to listen very, very carefully. Thank you, Himba.
Evangelist, thank you so much for that. I think let me take you back, or let me bring this aspect as we are getting maybe detailed into the topic of discussion. Why are you not married? Why are you not married? First of all, maybe let us make people understand what is the importance of marriage. Is it a must that everybody must be married? Is it a must that people must marry? Let's look at this.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. I'm going to put it in two or three parts. I'll start with the Bible. According to God's infinite wisdom, after he created everything, on the sixth day,
Lance, it looks like Evangelist Shabla
is creating Adam and Eve is a process which he put in place where husband and wife were to come together as a couple. And the purpose for that one was the procreation. Procreation. What is procreation? Giving, hello?
Evangelist, sorry. Yeah, sorry, but can you start from the top because of internet? I think at some point you
I think we've lost
Hello?
Lance. I think we've lost Lance, Evangelist. What he was trying to say
Hello?
is I think we have lost Lance as well due to internet. What he was trying to say is when you were explaining or responding to his question where he was asking, is it mandatory that everyone should get married? Why does society make it look obvious that everyone should get married? So he said, will you please start responding, because we had lost you a little bit because of internet. Maybe our viewers had missed out something from there.
Okay. Answering that question, I would like to put it probably in three parts. First of all, it is God's infinite wisdom that he establishes a marriage for human beings. because this was a process that he put in place, and the purpose was for procreation. Procreation means having children, producing children. So the children were to be created or to be produced through a system called marriage. That is between father and that is wife and husband, through a process called the sexual intercourse, so that out of that children would be born. So that was a process. That is why he never created it for man and woman or woman and woman. He created man and woman for the purpose of producing children through what he called marriage. So it is a Bible, it is God's method of producing children, and that is his wisdom, and that is his formula. So we respect it that way. Now, part 2. I'm coming to that. Part 2, we are looking at we, the human beings, who do not go to church, but believe in tradition and customs. You know, what it is that, you know, all animals, insects, birds, reptiles, fishes, and human beings, all of them, God put again the same system of reproduction, so that they may have husband and wife, especially for human beings. Even for non-Christians, they marry. And it is actually regarded as a blessing for people to get married. Himba, that is why if you go to India, you'll find that marriage is celebrated. When there's a marriage ceremony, everyone celebrates. You go to America, everyone celebrates a marriage. You go to Europe, everyone celebrates marriage. You come to Africa, it is a common denominator which brings people together. So it brings dignity in the family. It brings stability in the family or between individuals. So marriage is a bridge to happiness and also to development and also for procreation. The third part, it is for those that believe that, you know, you cannot marry. Even if you don't marry, then it doesn't matter. As long as you are living with somebody, then that is okay. Now, let me say this to you. Whether you are living with somebody and you are not legally married, you do not have a marriage certificate authorized by your parents, authorized by the government, authorized by the church. You don't have that document, but you are enjoying the fruits of marriage. I'm repeating, but you are enjoying the fruits of marriage in that relationship, which you have not legalized. You must know that it is just the system that you have taken, that you have used. But what it is marriage. You have married, and you have married illegally. So whether you will say you are not married, but you are living with a man, or you are living with a woman, I want you to know that you are doing what married people do. So that does not discriminate you. It does not remove you from this. You are in this bracket as a married person. Thank you so much.
Evangelist, by law, I think there's a specific period of which you are allowed, which you can stay with your partner, and it will be officially recognized by the government, or it will be legally married. When you go to court, or if you pass on or anything happens, the other remaining person will be recognized as your wife. Will you please explain on that as well?
Yes, Himba, it is true. When you live what you call habits with a man for a period of up to 6 months, that person automatically becomes your wife, automatically becomes your husband. because you have lived with that person and enjoyed all the benefits of a married person. And in the event of death, as long as there are witnesses who can confirm that you lived with that lady for a period of 6 months, that person by law will be treated as a wife, as long as there are witnesses and as long as you have lived for a period of 6 months. So that is what the law says in Zambia. I know that there are many people that are watching us from different countries, but now I'm quoting from the Zambian law here in Zambia. That's what the law says. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Evangelist Shabla, for that brief explanation, and I'm sure we are educating the masses, and thank you so much. All those that us, please feel free to interact through the live broadcasting. You can come into our studio if you've got any contribution, or you can still send your comments. We'll still be able to read your comments. Evangelist Shabla, please, may we go ahead and explain to the viewers all those reasons why a man and a woman they are not getting married. What are the root causes of some people who are not married? Why they don't get married? Please, over to you.
Thank you, Himba. First of all, in this one, I'm going to exclude those who have deliberately chosen not to get married, because those, it's a choice they've made that they will not get married for so many reasons known to them. Now, in this debate or discussion, I'm talking about somebody who wants to get married but cannot find a partner, cannot finalize or tie knots with a particular lady or a particular gentleman. So this is what I'm talking about. Not those that have chosen not to marry by choice. So, as I said, there are many people that are handsome, but they've failed to attract a partner. They've got a good job, they've got houses or mansions, they've got a good bank accounts, they've got good jobs, they've got what it takes to have a lady and be able to take care of a lady, but they've failed to attract such ladies. And vice versa, the women, they've also failed to attract such men. Now, these are some of the reasons. Number one, it is not the first reason, but on my list, I'm putting it as number one. Lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. What am I talking about? I'm talking about not knowing what you want in getting married. This is a person that will say, there are no men to marry me. There are no women to marry. And yet they are surrounded by so many men or so many women. They say, I have not yet found Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. Do you know why? It's because they themselves, they are not Mr. Right, they are not Mrs. Right. So you need to be clear with what you want. Define what you want. What you want is a marriage, and what you want is a man. So if you want a man, identify that man. But before you identify that man, you yourself, you should be ready to find that man and to hold that man when you find him, and also to be able to conclude that relationship to culminate into a marriage. A lot of people do not understand what they want. So you need to be clear with what you want. Himba, it is like setting a business. If you don't know what business you want to run. You do not know how to go about it. You don't even know the market. You don't even know how to sell it. You don't even have transport. All your products, everything that you are going to produce on that farm or that you are going to produce from your factory, in the first place, you will not even produce it because you don't know how to come up with a product, with that product. So you must have knowledge of what you want.
Evangelist Shabu.
So the other, yes.
Just on that one, I would love you to shed more light. There are people who would say, I want to get married to a doctor, I want to get married to a director, when actually they would even set standards. As you are saying, you should define the partner or the man you want. I'm talking on side of ladies. There are ladies who say, I want to get married to a God-fearing man, to a man who is educated, to a man who is clean. But when you look at them, themselves, they are not even educated. Themselves, they can't even make vitumbua to sell. And there are also men who would say, I want to marry a woman with those standards, when themselves they don't have those standards. What is your comment?
You know what? When you set high standards, you will fail to score yourself. When you score, when you set high standards, you will not be able to score because the standards are too high. If you say you want to get married to a doctor and you yourself, you are not educated, you are a grade 9, you ended in grade 9, and you can't spell the Zambezi, you can't spell Zambezi, and you want to get married to a doctor. What it is, to me, I would say you are hallucinating. You are hallucinating. First of all, is it possible that a doctor can marry grade 9? Yes, it is possible. That is 1 out of 1,000. Let's talk about things that are real. Men want to marry women that are equal to or above them, not below them. Women, they want to marry a man who is equal to them or above them, not somebody who is below. So that is why, Himba, it is important to look within your crow, those people in your brackets, so that you are able to attract them. Because you look for a member of parliament, he will look at you. How far have you gone? What are you doing? What have you achieved in life? So all these are things that people look at. You want to look at this business lady, and this business lady should look at it, where she has come from, with her money, with her business, where she has passed, the difficulties that she met in that business to be where she is. Can she entrust that wealth or those monies into the hands of somebody who does not understand business in any way? That money will be gone in a day, and the children will suffer. So it is important, Himba, to cut, in English they say, cut the coat according to your size. Don't cut oversize. Oversize is 3. We often size 10. Yes, yes, Professor. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. First of all, let me apologize. My network is really bad today, but however, it's about that time that we get to have comments coming through from people that are watching us via different mediums. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you comment on the Facebook page, right on the stream of this program. We'll be able to read your comment loud and clear. Ask your question, send your comment, your burning issue, share it with us, and Evangelist Shawula will be able to answer you. Turning to our topic of discussion, remember we are discussing why are you not married. All right, so even if you're a married person, you can still come in and share your view. This is not only limited to people that are single, you are a married person, come through and maybe share guidance, share counsel to people that are not married or people that are not even thinking about marriage yet. So this is what this program is all about. Right about now, we have Joe Mwikisa on the line. Joe, hi, good evening. How are you doing today? Joe, are you there? All right. Hi, Joe, are you there? All right, we seem to have lost Joe right there. Remember that on the comments box, we have shared the studio link. You can join us live in the studio, be part of the program. Whether married or not, you are still a vital or integral part of the program. We want you to share your ideas. We want you to share your comments. We want you to share your experience. Chucky Lewis says, it is not wrong to marry a divorced woman under the basis that she's legally ended her previous marriage with a divorce certificate. Hence, she is free to remarry any other person. Evangelist, let's hope you're taking note of that. Obviously, this is a response to your sentiments. So obviously you have a response to that. Laura says, how about those who are dating and living separately, but you see each other and spend nights together with sex involved? Can that be classified as marriage? Okay, this is easy. I can even answer that one. But anyway, we leave it for the marriage expert, Evangelist Shabula. All right, so we are still taking in your comments, your questions, and your counsel right here on the program. Remember, you can come through via the comments box right on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, or better still, make sure that you click on the link that we have provided for you in the comments section. Come through direct in the studio, be part of the program. Evangelist, as you are attending to those, the first one is just a comment. Yeah, the first one is just a comment. Then the second one is a question talking about how about those that are dating, living separately, but obviously kulinkanyama sleepover, or baby come for a sleepover, or sleepover, sex is involved. Can you consider those legally married? Let me maybe also add one question so that you can respond to 3 questions all together. Okay, we seem to have Caroline though. Let's see if we can have Caroline to ask the 3rd question, and then you get to respond to those. Hi, Caroline. How are you doing?
Good evening. Good evening, everyone in the studio.
Good evening. Thank you. So you
Good
have
evening,
90
thank you.
seconds to make. Okay, and she is gone. Great. All right. Anyway, Evangelist, attend to the 1 consent and 1 question, and then on the other side we continue picking you right straight into the studios. Make sure that when you come through, be ready to contribute or be ready to make your submission. Evangelist, we have Laura with a question, and also we have Lewis with a concern.
Yes, by Lewis, Chucky Lewis, she talked of a divorced lady who has got papers for divorce, meaning that the court sat and nullified that marriage, and through the court, papers of divorce were granted to the 2 people. The question is, can she remarry? Yes, the answer is that she can remarry under the laws of Zambia. Again, I'm talking about Zambia, under the laws of Zambia, because it means, first of all, when we talk of divorce certificate, it means the detachment in that marriage. There's no attachment. The person has no connection with that person anymore. In other words, it has ended, it has died. And because it has died, that person has the right to remarry a person of her choice or to marry a person of his choice. So it is in order. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the other one, where somebody says, you know, you have got a boyfriend, girlfriend, you just meet at night and have sex, is that in marriage? It is not marriage. That is not marriage. That is infidelity. That is infidelity, and infidelity is not marriage.
Evangelist, let me put it in this way. I'm sure maybe this is in the context that Laura is thinking about. I'm hoping that I'm speaking on her behalf, bringing it back to the Zambian way or the Zambian culture. Let's not talk about the West, because in the West that is normal for a woman to move in, for a girlfriend to move into the boyfriend's house and this and that. But let's talk about the Zambian perspective. Let's say, for example, if these people are engaged, all right, they are engaged. The man hasn't reached door yet. The woman's house. They have just engaged in a private situation. Check out. Amvalika na ringi. Then manje kumapezeka out, okay, that woman, not every day, not every time, but once in a while, uja mkazi aenda kuka sleep over kuli mwamuna uja, then ibachitako na tochitachita, as we would say, pay tradition or pay anything, you know, the extraordinary things. What can we call that? Isn't it partial marriage?
It is not partial marriage. It is not marriage. It is not marriage. That is why, you know, for example, the Bembas. I'm talking about one of the tribes, one of the 72 tribes in Zambia. For example, the Bembas, if you sleep with that lady, there's what they call Ukudya Chisungu, Wamudya Chisungu. So, and Wamudya Chisungu, it means that, you know, you have actually, you know, eaten her English. You know, before you are given, you've taken that lady and used her. So in most cases, there is a penalty that is given to you. The fact that you are given a penalty, it means that you have not conducted yourself well. Now, the question as to is that a marriage? It is not a marriage. It is not. It's not a marriage. And you are even saying sometimes you stay one day, she goes to her home. Maybe another night she comes. It's not a marriage. Those people are just doing things illegally behind the backs of their parents. So it is not a marriage. Can the father go and visit this gentleman because he's a son-in-law and spend a month there, or spend 2 days there with this boy that is sleeping with the daughter? No, not at all. Why? It's because they're not legally married.
Well, okay. Anyway, I still have more questions on that, but perhaps let's get to accommodate Mukelebai. He is right here in the studio with us. Let's get Mukelebai's comment, and then I'm still coming back with a more question, like maybe an advanced question on that. At least I'm trying to speak on behalf of people
others
that
yes,
you know, maybe practicing this. But hey, Mukelebai, hi, good evening.
Good evening, how are you? Mutozichwani wo evangelist.
Rutozandesha vatozichwani.
Ati rutozi muga into mopona buti. Not kabotru, but kabotu. Anyway, I hear Bolansi, thank you for so much for allowing me to speak. The topic is why. What was the topic again? Why do we get married, or what? What was the topic? What was the question for the topic?
Why are you not married?
Well, I don't know how the evangelist has answered. I think he's trying to teach us, to tell us about the causes and the issues that making either young men and women not to conduct themselves, to legalize their relationship, you know. But what I can only tell you is, in my own opinion, me, I have a different view from Boy Evangelist. Me, what I know is the young men today, our marriages in Zambia in particular, have been commercialized. And when it has been commercialized, you will find that the economy, you know, there's a problem with our country right now. We are facing economical challenges and youths are not being employed. And these are the future. And these are the people that are supposed to actually engage themselves into relationships and procreate. But they are scared. Why are they scared? They are scared because the economy is biting. They have to. Here's a young man who wants to get married. He's falling in love with a girl. But he is hindered, he's restrained by some customary injunctious beliefs, where he has to pay. If that girl, she's a college graduate, oh my God, it's gonna cost a lot. So young men are getting a little bit worried to say, why should I be charged for falling in love? And this commercialization has really made young men to deter, to just ignore, or rather to wait until such a time when they either win lotto or they have a job where they're economically empowered. So meaning the marriages have been commercialized in a sense that you have to have money and to be married. For women, they also have to look at their future. You cannot prepare yourself for your future generation if the man you intend to marry to is incapacitated. He can't provide. So they're looking at security as well. So you find there are two conflicts there. So in this regard, we shouldn't actually even blame people that are not married. We should simply tell them to say, you will do it at the right time, at your own pace. Not because we should consider it as an achievement. Marriage is a social contract between two adults that have attained the legal age and decide to live together. And I feel, in my opinion, that our mbuyas should reduce on ngombe. How many ngombes should be paid? Because young men today, they have no capacity. Thank
you so much, Mom Kelevai. And simply, Mom Kelevai is simply saying the bridal price. These young men, they're just starting their lives. Their income is not yet attainable, but the way people are the price, it's like it's profit, or they want to open a shop. The bridal price no longer carries meaning. I think that's what Sibom Keleva is trying to say. Back to you, Evangelist Shabula. What is your comment?
I think what it is that, you know, one day we are going to talk about the bride price. So for today, I will not comment much on that one, because it is a topic that will be coming for discussion later in the year as we go on. But for now, maybe I'll put it aside. Not that I've thrown it aside, away, but because it is one of the topics that will be discussed. It will come on its own as a topic for everyone to discuss. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Evangelist Shabla, can you carry on now to explain why? Can we have more reasons? I'm sure I had a list of reasons. Please carry on to explain more reasons. Sorry about that, Lan.
Yes, I have a lot of reasons. One of them, when you are in a relationship, I'm talking about dominating. Dominating. When you are in a relationship, you've got your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you should not control. Do not manage. Do not be a manager. Do not govern all the aspects of your relationship, while the friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend is scarcely, you know, just watching. She's just watching, but you are always dominating. a relationship is for equals. It is a partnership. It is the two of you that should decide on what to do. You know, when you are a lady and then you always want to take a lead, you know, the gentleman will be scared. Because even when you get married, it is you will be deciding. So sometimes you find that you lose that relationship on account of your dominance. So do not dominate. Be at par with your gentleman. Even you, the gentleman, treat that lady as equal partner, so that when you sit to discuss issues, you consult each other, and then you make a decision that will be your decision, not her decision or his decision. The other point here is having a partner who is a liar, lying. In a relationship, the two of you, you are courting, but you are a liar. You never tell the truth. You always distort facts. You are always creating events that has never existed except in your mind. You are always telling stories that are not true. And so when your boyfriend or girlfriend discovers that what you are saying is not true, then they'll have to think twice whether to continue with you or not. So in this case, we should understand that it does not pay in a relationship for you to tell lies. The other point that actually causes people to be dumped or not to marry is lack of humility. This is a lady or this is a man who feels that he's better or she's better. Everybody else is not like herself. She's beautiful or he's beautiful. She's intelligent or he's intelligent. She's educated or he's educated. And so the gentleman feels I've got money, I've got property, so I can marry anybody who I want. Or the lady can say, I've got money, I've got property, I can marry anybody that I want. Now, when you are boyfriend and girlfriend, you begin treating each other on the basis of your beauty or your intelligence or your wisdom or your money or your property, then the relationship will fail, because the relationships are not built on money. And the humility is actually what we look for. That is what we need to go with in the marriage. You must be a humble person, a teachable person, a person who can share ideas with the other person. Now, if you marry a person who is not humble, then you have problems. The other problem here, the other issue is a quarrelsome personality. When you have got a quarrelsome personality, I'm talking about a person who would want to pick an argument which will result into a quarrel, which will result into a fight. When you are in a relationship and you begin fighting, you begin quarreling, instead of loving each other even more, then you know that you are actually heading for big problems. It is not good for you to quarrel when you are in a relationship, because you are just beginning to experience the beautiful things that are found in that marriage. So it is important to learn to relate with the people in a civil manner. Also, we need to promote peace when you are boyfriend, girlfriend, and harmony. That must be seen. The other point is hello.
Just hold your thought on that point. Yes. I would also love you to comment. There are people who would say, I've got my own principles and this is me. It's either he accepts me or she accepts me the way I want. Basically, my understanding is that when you're getting into marriage, it's like you're getting 50% of your life, giving it to somebody. You have to accommodate somebody. That 50% goes to somebody, and this somebody, should they allow you 50% in their life? So what comment do you have on those people who says, no, this is me. It's either he takes me the way I am or he leaves me, or it's either she accepts me the way I am. And then I also want to comment, if she doesn't accept me with my relatives or the way I am, it's up to her. What is your comment on that?
Thank you. You know, in a marriage, you want to come together. It is like you want to establish a business, an enterprise. You cannot say that I'm going to run this business based on the basis of my plans. No, not at all, because you are not a sole proprietor. You have other people that have got interest in that business. So you are going to share what they call sharing, you share shares. So the thing is that, you know, a certain amount of, a certain percentage of that business is what you are going to get, and this other will come from your colleagues. So when you get into a relationship, Himba, you cannot say that I've got principles and my principles should prevail. When you do that, you actually become let me put, you are not, there's no humility in you. You are a person that wants to be a dictator in that relationship. It should not be that way. I have to come with my 50%. You come with your 50%. We put together as shareholders in this relationship called marriage. It is not the man who should be supreme. It is not the lady who should be supreme. And if one does not want to give up part of his enjoyment or powers, then that person cannot live with the other person. Because that other person will also say, I also have principles. Now, if each one of them is going to keep their principles to themselves, then how are you going to cooperate? How are you going to work together? So that is a difficult relationship, and that relationship should not be allowed to continue, because it's not helping. They will be fighting. So one of them, or such a person, should not be allowed to lead. So my recommendation is that such a relationship should go.
Yes, Evangelist.
Yes, Professor.
I think I still want. Yes. I still want to bring you back to Laura. I think we haven't exhausted that question. Yeah, so of course she sends through another message saying, talking about dominance, how about when a woman is not ready to have sex before marriage and the man is pushing for it? Who is dominating who here? Very important question, Evangelist, and I think I would love you to elaborate on this one. Being submissive, can we kindly have that back? Okay, obviously she goes on to say being submissive becomes the speech from the man. Okay, this comes from the Bible. The Bible says you must be submissive. Now, look at this. They are not in a marriage yet. They are not in a marriage yet. This is either a relationship or maybe they are in a courtship or whatever, but this is before marriage. The man is dominantly asking for sex and the woman is rejecting to say, no, we can't have sex. Now, here, between the two, between the woman and the man, who is dominating who? Okay, this is the first question. Who is dominating who? Where is the dominance here? Then, because the woman is refusing to have sex before marriage, the man brings about the issue of you must be submissive because the Bible says a woman should be submissive. Now, the second question comes in where, or comes in like this. Where does a woman become submissive? Is it in a marriage? Does it start in a relationship? Does it start at the point that start dating? Where does the submissive come in? Maybe let's attend to this one. I feel it has, you know, that much potential to at least get to answer different questions that people have.
I will start with who is dominating who. The person that is dominating someone is the one who is making a request. He is the aggressor. He is pushing for that which he wants. So he's the one who is dominating. The other one is a defender. She's trying to protect what she has, and she's in a weak position. So she's being dominated by this dominant person. That is the answer to that question. Now the question is, should she submit? You see, submission, you don't submit to wrong things. You don't submit to wrong things. What that person is telling you to break the law. He's telling you to break the tradition. He's telling you to break God's commandment. Who should you listen to? To your parents, to your tradition, to God, or to that gentleman? Now, you know, we are going to get stuck here. We'll have a lot of problems if we are going to look at the Western side. You know, I've told you, I've lived in America many, many years. And all those countries where you are there, I lived in those countries. There, it is normal for a young lady, for a young man to have sex. And there are no qualms to that. Because they've not killed each other. No one is dead, no one is injured, and both are happy. If both are happy, who is complaining? Who is the complainant? So there it is normal. Now, when it comes to us, yes,
just the evangelist. If you say for the other people in other countries, it might be normal for them to go about maybe having sex in a relationship or this and that. Don't you think this principle of the Bible to say no marriage before sex should apply everywhere, regardless of where people are hailing from, whether they're coming from the west, east, north, and south? Does it need to have a certain alignment to say, no, because I come from Africa and we are too religious, therefore I should follow the Bible principle of no sex after marriage, before marriage, I mean, and then no, just because I belong to the West and maybe this is our culture that I can move into my both house, we can have sex, therefore I can't follow the Bible principle of no sex before marriage? Where does this principle apply?
Before Evangelist comes in, let me just add on what Lance is saying. I think the other component is that in these other countries, the Christianity is not really dominant. There are many religions in these other countries where that aspect of sex before marriage may not apply in their religions. And now, to go further, just on that, Mr. Evangelist Shabula, what about how do you go and marry this woman? You don't know how they look. You should know what you are going to have. What about if you say sex before marriage, then when you find that's not the package you're looking for? What happens now? You still go out again to go and hunt. Had I known comes after a misery. What is your comment on
that? First of all, I still want to get back where you are talking about. You know, I want you to understand that even when I'm seated here, where I am, I know that I'm not talking to Christians only. And I'm not talking to Zambians only. And I'm not talking to the educated only or to less educated people. I'm trying to find a thin line, a common denominator. You know, a common denominator in mathematics, a figure that will go in without leaving a remainder. So the issue here, I'm looking at what is the best way of answering this question. So that's why I always want to look at the Bible and we'll look at the culture. So that those who are not in the Bible, they'll look at the culture. If you are not of the culture, then it means you have your own culture. So if you are in your own culture, I have no control. I cannot come into your domain, because that is that is your area. You do what you want. But what I want to say, the Bible, those who believe in the Bible, who are Christians and they believe in the Bible, they know that if they are not married, it is not right for them to have sex outside marriage. They know. And they should not do it. Number two, culturally, Himba, among the Tongas, you cannot sleep with a lady, even if she is betrothed, for you to marry. You cannot sleep, you cannot have sex, with her. You cannot sleep at the gentleman's home. You know that. Or else they say to Atia, it's a case that you can be given. So what you are saying, you are now taking it to the Western world, where people do what they do what they feel is right. So in that area, I have no comment. I can say let them do what pleases them. If there are no rules, then they are very lucky. For me, I'm in the world where there's a Bible and there's tradition. In the world where I am, where there's a Bible, it is not right. Where there's tradition, also it says it's not right. So it is not right for people who are not married to have sex. You have talked of testing to find out whether the package or the fruit that you saw is the correct one. Now, I want to ask you, Himba, I want to ask you, you go to the market, you find you want to buy tomatoes, then you find that this tomato has been eaten by the previous customer. Are you going to go and buy that heap of tomatoes which has been eaten? Would you buy it?
No, not at all.
Himba, why?
Okay.
Why?
This is a wrong example.
Why? The reason why, listen, let's be very, very clear. The reason why here is that it has been chewed, it has been eaten, it has been put, saliva on it. So it is not fit for the next person to eat. The person who tastes it must finish it, must take it and eat it. Least it is thrown away. So when you are a lady and you allow people to taste you like you are a mango, you must know that the last person that is going to take you will just come just because, it's like you have been tested, you have been chewed. There's no virginity in you. You are getting into this marriage, you are a finished person. So there's no pride in that man of having a lady, with you to go, even to go out for honeymoon. To go out for honeymoon, to go out and enjoy which honey. There's no honey, there's only the moon.
Thank you so
the
much.
Honey has been, first of all, wait. The honey has been eaten. What has left is just the moon.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. In 1 minute, will you please summarize the view?
Himba, before as he summarized in that 1 minute, I would love him to attend to this comment that Josephine made. If we can have the comment on the screen from Josephine, I would love him to really attend to that, because she talked of something very serious. So she says sense of humor, trust, love, respect, and availability of someone is what makes a relationship, and that is what matters to me. Wealthy and other resources are just gained along the way. My main interest is on this last part. Let love lead. Can love really lead when there is literally nothing? Like, could be very for some relationship. There's no hope. There's no future. Can love really lead? All right. So Caroline says, my question is, mostly today we want the women to play a bigger role of wanting things to work out. But in the Bible, it says, he who finds a wife. Don't you think the man should be man enough or prove himself capable for the lady to entrust herself to him? Because it's a woman who says yes. Okay. I feel like I'm an for this one. But anyway,
in 1 minute,
so
1
this,
minute.
yeah, so in 1 minute, Evangelist, in 1 minute, attend to these 2 points, and also you can summarize why are people not getting married. Can love really lead? my main interest, can love really lead where there is nothing? There is no hope at all. You are both staying at home. Love really lead?
You know, for love to be there, it's like you want to talk about a tree. A tree that has got no roots will not stand. In English, we call it a stalk. It will just be a stalk, it will not be a tree. So there must be these roots. The love, it must be, all these things that she has pointed out. Those, they must be there. It's a package. That when you've got that package, then you begin to love somebody. So it is, you cannot love somebody when those are absent. So love will not lead because because of that absence of these things. The other issue, the question that Carol brought out, is that we must understand that a man should take a lead first of all in looking for a lady. He shall leave his father and mother. Well, that's what the Bible says. Even outside the Bible, it is the man that will go out and look for a lady. And when he finds a lady, it is the man who should give confidence to the lady that what this lady has found is somebody who is going to take care of her, despite what? And he has got to prove. And for this lady to fall in love with this gentleman, all those things that I talked about, humility. The gentleman should be a humble person. The gentleman should not be quarrelsome. The person should have clarity of what he wants. The gentleman should not be a liar. So all these things that are there should be seen in the life of this gentleman who wants to marry this lady. So when that is seen, then you find that this lady, this love is going to lead. It will lead where there's a purpose. It will lead where there's action. So it is that way. It is very, very important. So that is what I would say. Maybe you can read even the next one that has come from Choki, from Lewis.
All right. So Lewis says, well said, Evangelist Shaula. In addition, my contribution is that when two people date, they usually aim to get married. Hence, a man knows if he will marry you or not within 6 months to a year of dating. This is because true characters on both sides are seen. Hence, a beautiful face won't make him want to marry you, nor a handsome face. It's a two-way thing which includes character, respect, understanding, and trust that would lead the both into marriage. Well, Evangelist, time is not really our best ally, and we have to say bye-bye, unfortunately.
Thank you so much.
Right,
it is true.
Please go ahead.
It is true. The last, statement that has come, it is true. It is character that when you go in marriage, Himba, you don't take your father into that marriage. You don't go with your mother in that marriage. You don't go with your sister or your brother. You take character in the marriage. Because you take character in the marriage, it is character that we should take so that the person that we are going to tie our lives to will see the benefits of having married us. Or else, if there's no character, good character that we will show, the person that we've married will think we are just gongers. A gonger is fake. We are just fake. So in other words, what I'm saying here is that in conclusion, Let us carry character in these relationships so that the same character can be taken into these marriages. When we take character in the marriage, we are going to take character to our children, and we'll take character to our grandchildren, and all our offsprings will have character. When they've got character, they will even live longer. They will even be happy. So anybody, if you have not if you have not found
I know you've got a lot to tell us. You've got a lot to educate the masses, and it's always a blessing to have you. Love Nanjala, CV and Delana, public appearance, Yakagai, and number one. With me and Lance, it's good evening, viewers. See you next time on Nsaka.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.